We're talking the burning questions for the Georgia Bulldogs this year in 2025. We got some questions from some listeners. We've got some questions from ourselves next on Locked On Bulldogs.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel, FanDuel.com. More on them. We love them. You should love them. Hey, everydayers, thanks for being here. Loyal first segment listeners, those who wake up in the morning and say, hey, I got to get this into the earbuds. We appreciate you. And those who listen all the way to the end, third segment followers, you guys are the best. We are the best UGA fan podcast there is. Make no mistake about this. Daniel and I are experts. And when I say experts, we can fan out better than any other fan there is. Trust us, when you call us a homer, it's the best compliment we have in our bag of tricks. We appreciate you. So he is Daniel. I'm Clint. This is Locked On Bulldogs, your place, your source for Locked On Bulldogs news and fandom all the time. Daniel mentioned it. We are going through this offseason. There's lots of questions for 2025. If I may, ever since Kirby came on staff, that transitional period, we're like, what is he going to build? Well, it turns out he's building, he could build quite a thing. 2 national championships, recruiting classes, SEC championships. However, this offseason it is new for us. This is a first in the Kirby Smart era. Building up to the program and remaining excellent, great. Took a step back last year with talent, team, with composition, with chemistry. We got questions for leading into next year, Daniel.
We do. If you don't have questions, I would say maybe you're not paying attention. Maybe you're not as locked in, as dialed in as one.
Why aren't you a first listener? Why aren't you here listening to us every single day? Because we have lots of questions.
It's June, people. It's June.
What else do you have to do?
We got 2 months to do nothing but ask questions.
Prognosticate over how dire the situation is for UGA. And if you are still watching the Braves, God help your soul. Just stop.
Let me stop.
It's dead.
Stop it.
Spencer Strider is pitching 95 miles per hour.
Stop it.
All right, here's the first question I have for Daniel. It's very important because I am mystified by this offseason topic. Daniel, I keep seeing loads and loads of top 10 SEC quarterback rankings. We talked yesterday's pod. You and I both were in agreement. We'd rather have DJ Lagway than Arch Manning. We talked about Gunner Stockton being better runner, not scrambler, than Stetson Bennett. We talked about Gunner quite a bit. And it's confusing for me because as I see these top lists of SEC quarterbacks, not national quarterbacks, Gunner Stockton can't crack a top 10 list in the SEC, Daniel. I don't know if you know how many teams.
There are only 14 teams.
Thank you. Okay, great. So quick math. I'm mathing, and that's not good. Turns out if you can't crack the top 10 in the SEC, something is severe. You're one of the worst quarterbacks in the nation. So, Daniel, I simply ask you, based on what you have seen, who are the clear-cut people that Gunner is behind in the SEC? Clear-cut that he is behind. That you would say, hey, look, here are my top guys that Gunner, look, it's fair. It's fine to say the talent, the experience, the evolution of these guys, they are clearly head and shoulders above Gunner Stockton. Who was that tier above him?
Now, it's interesting with a guy like Gunner Stockton because, to be totally honest, it's a lot of speculation. If you're going to go, who is Gunner Stockton behind based on empirical proven data points that we have, like we have seen it on the field, well, he's going to be behind several guys because he just hasn't had the reps on the field. He's played a game and a half in his career ever. Right. And so I don't think that's how you do QB rankings, though. Right? Like,
I like this. This is fine. Yeah.
I see Arch Manning at the top of all these lists. What kind of empirical data do we have on him?
Not a lot.
He's thrown 90% of his touchdowns and 90% of his passing yards have been completed against teams like Louisiana Monroe and Mississippi State, who
Not
ranked
great.
outside the top 100 in passing defense last season. So there's a lot of quarterbacks that I think you got to base it on talent, extrapolation of what you can project from these quarterbacks. I'm going to give you my list of guys that I would clearly right now put ahead of Gunner Stockton in the SEC.
Great.
Okay. Number 1, Lenora Sellers, South Carolina.
Great.
In my mind, he is the best quarterback in the SEC because I've seen him do it. And good defenses can't stop it. Clemson last year, good defense.
Yes.
Can't stop him. Can't do it. I'm going to put Garrett Nussmeier and DJ Lagway both clearly ahead of Gunner Stockton. You can say what you will about DJ Lagway. We said it last episode. We'd take him over Arch Manning. I'd take him over Gunner Stockton. I'll be totally honest with you. Now, that's not hating on Gunner Stockton.
No.
I'm just telling you, I've seen what I've seen from DJ Lagway. Do I think that coaching staff is going to get the most out of him? No, I do not. Do I think that Florida offense is going to be as productive as Georgia's offense this year? No, I do not. But in terms of quarterback talent, I put both Garrett Nussmeier and DJ Lagway ahead of Gunner Stockton. That's the end of my list.
Oh, see, Daniel, I was waiting for more. You have listed 3 quarterbacks.
I got 3 names that I say are clearly ahead of Gunner Stockton. Now, if you want to quibble with me about certain guys, is Diego Pavia better than Gunner Stockton? Diego Pavia certainly is very good at the things that he does.
He's very good.
I think the ceiling for Gunner Stockton is much higher than it is for Diego Pavia. Is a guy like Taylon Green or Marcel Reed for Texas A&M, Taylon Green for Arkansas, are those guys better than Gunner Stockton? I think they're better at something than Gunner Stockton is.
Yeah.
But I think the ceiling for Gunner Stockton and what I'm projecting for Gunner Stockton is better than all those guys. Right now, I have him as the 4th best quarterback in the SEC, and you can call me a homer all you want. We covered it in the first segment. That's fine. That's who I am, but that's what I see out of Gunner Stockton.
Here's the confusing thing to me. I'm going to go other lists. Other lists have Gunner somewhere 11, 12, somewhere in that range. He can't crack the top 10. He's in the same category as Ty Simpson, Alabama, Blake Shapen, Mississippi State. Zach, I can't any quarterback that's at Kentucky. I can't with you. Like, I'm sorry. It's not anything against you personally. It's just that you.
I don't think you're going to export a lot of touchdowns. Is what I'm
trying to say. All right. Pate over Josh Pate has this: DJ Lagway, Arch Manning, Lenora Sellers, Garrett Nussmeier, John Mateer, Austin Simmons, Jackson Arnold, Taylon Green, Marcel Reed, Diego Pavia. Here's my problem with this, and other lists have very similar things.
It's terrible.
It's awful. Like, if you want to put DJ Lenora and Nussmeier, great. I'm there with you. You want to put Arch? Nope. I'm sorry. He didn't show me anything in the limited amount of scope that he had. And if he showed you anything, he showed you the same exact as Gunner Stockton. And you could tell me recruiting wise, go look back at Gunner Stockton's recruitment. Broke every record in Georgia and 5-star all the way through. Same status. Just because his name isn't Manning puts him up there. Yeah. Here's my problem. Here's my biggest problem with all of this. And it shows how people don't think. Okay. Like,
yeah.
Okay. We are homers, but you want to put Austin Simmons in a category above Gunner Stockton. Why? Just, you can say, well, the potential. Okay, cool. He has more potential. You've seen more potential out of him than Gunner, but you can't say I've seen more of Gunner than I have Austin. We saw him for one drive against Georgia. Yeah, that's it.
It's
what are we doing?
Gunner Stockton is He's gonna prove a lot of people wrong this
Right
year. Like it is exactly where you want to be.
Yes, sir.
If you're a Georgia fan, if you're this Georgia quarterback, I don't get the sense that Gunner Stockton cares one bit about these rankings.
There's two spectrums. There's the Carson Beck side, and then there's the Stetson Bennett side. I'm here to tell you the Gunner Stockton and Stetson Bennett, the Venn diagram's a little bit more consistent than the other side of that. We're going to come back after this. Daniel's going to ask me a question burning for the 2025 season in Georgia. But first, these. And these are, in fact, FanDuel. FanDuel.com, the place to go ahead, get in on the action. Daniel and I love FanDuel. Every single time we want to go ahead and get in the action sports book, we go to FanDuel. It's the official sports book of Locked On Bulldogs, Locked On Podcast everywhere. You
Pacers right in 6. You get a nice little penny for it.
A foolish decision.
Nice little penny for it.
Daniel Pacers is already giving you the stone cold lock of the underdog that usually comes Friday in season. Right now, I'm here to tell you, take OKC and whatever juice they're giving to Indiana, say whatever, I like money. You put $5 down, you win that $5 bet. Guess what? $200 in bonus bets goes into your account. FanDuel, the official sports book of Locked On Bulldogs, Locked On Podcast, are the only place Daniel and I trust for sportsbook action. Get over there right now, FanDuel.com.
John. Sorry there, Clint. That's my bad. John did mention when he was on, Clint, that he has a similar head shape to you. And so he thought that the viewers would be, I'm not sure if that's a compliment or an insult.
I'm here to tell you right now,
our man
Cam Scataboo has the head shape to play football.
He looks like a football player. That is what I've been told. The man's head is shaped. Golly.
I wish I forgot every single thing about that trip.
I have already deleted it from my memory banks. Got a question here, Clint, from a listener.
Yeah.
There's no name. They didn't put a name on it. They don't want to be associated with this question, apparently.
Okay.
But I thought it was interesting. Okay. And so I posed it to you. Is our training staff, should they be held accountable for the injuries that Georgia suffers as a team? Because this particular listener to the pod believes that Georgia seems to have more injuries at key spots than other marquee programs. Is that the responsibility of the players? Is it just bad luck? Does it fall to Kirby Smart? Is it even true? What is your take on that, Clint?
Let me get out in front of this right now.
Okay.
We have done this before. We have counted injuries. We have counted number of games missed compared to other programs.
Yeah.
Injuries always happen. You play injured, period. Nolan Smith, go look at the Super Bowl. You get to the end of the season, you are not 100%. You're nowhere near. You're hopefully 65%. That's what you do all off season, is you train to play through pain and soft tissue injuries throughout the entirety of the season. That's the point of the training staff. The point of the training staff is not to stop injuries from happening. The point of the training staff is for you to be able to play through injuries and not have them become severe. Okay, that's the whole goal. Georgia does not. It is a perceived understanding, Daniel. It is like if your girlfriend wore purple when she broke your heart and you hate the color purple now. Okay, I get it. Purple, bad memories come roaring back to you. Okay, I understand.
Feels autobiographical.
But purple. Look, if the listeners don't know by now, when you and I do innuendos to things in life, they are not innuendos. They are real life examples of things that have happened to you and I. Okay. It's not purple's fault that has happened, is what I'm trying to say to you. I think we have had, if you look at injuries, we look at running backs, we look at knee injuries on turfs in Tennessee. It's perceived. In entirety, hands down, Georgia has the same amount of injuries as other programs. Secondly, so just right out of the bat. Secondly, the training staff's goal is to make sure that they don't get severe and they're able to recover well and get back into the game quickly. That is the strength and conditioning program's whole entire goal. Keep them in that shape. And to that point, y'all look at Jalen last year. Look at Michael last year. Look at even the offensive line. They played the game.
Tate Ratledge?
How
about Tate Ratledge coming back from that catastrophic, what we thought was a catastrophic leg injury?
When that happened, all reports gave us 12 weeks, I think, Daniel. I think every report I had was 12 weeks. We thought we lost him for the whole entire season.
We did.
Turns out he was still able to. Okay. Georgia's staff is very, very good at getting these guys back into positions of healthy football playing and managing them well. Now, Georgia, the thing that has sucked for us the last year, I will say last year, is that normally when you try to pitch count somebody like Michael and the rest of the crew, you have 5-star, 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 5-star stacked behind. That is no longer the case in college football. You don't get that. If you're a 5-star stacked 3 deep, you are elsewhere making NIL for Oklahoma State. It's just the nature of the beast. Georgia.
Can I introduce you to the linebacker room at Georgia this year, Clint?
Oh, yeah.
Because you may want to amend your previous statement.
Have we told you guys how excited we are for the linebacker room? I haven't been this excited. Daniel, I swear to all that is good and holy, I have not been this excited since Roquan himself was on campus, Daniel. Since the fax machine didn't go through, I have not been this excited.
Nor should you have been. I think to give a not to say your example wasn't relatable, Clint, because who hasn't been hurt by a girl wearing purple? But it's like, to me, what it's like is it's a simple factor of you pay attention to this team. It's like when you start looking at, like, you're going to buy a new car and you're like, I think this is the car I'm going to buy, right?
It's on the road, Daniel.
It's this is the car. I've locked in on it. I think it's right for my family. I think the price point is going to be good. It's got the features that I want. This is the car I'm going to get. Now you're driving down the road. Guess what? There's another one.
He was spotting raccoons on the side of the road.
And them off. I was seeing mailboxes. That's what this is. You're paying attention to Georgia, and so you're seeing it. Alabama, Ohio State, Penn State,
Texas,
Notre Dame,
a lot of last year without one of the most important running backs and offensive linemen they had for their entire team. Yeah,
you see these injuries across college football. I don't think Georgia is special in that. Yes, occasionally you'll run into some bad luck, and an absolute key piece of the team will go down. But we see that across college football. So I don't necessarily think Georgia has a problem there. And I agree with you, Clint. To blame the strength staff for something like that is just to look for a scapegoat. We're trying to find somebody to blame our problems on. If Georgia has bad injury luck, it's bad injury luck. It's college football. It's, you're at some point you're playing poker. There's some skill involved, but at some point the other guy just gets better cards than you, and that's the end of the conversation. All right, Clint's got one more question for me, and then we will be back with that right after these.
Daniel, it's a bad situation when off season hits because I have time to ruminate on things.
Oh, he's deep in his thoughts over there.
I get the robes out, the candles are lit.
He's lit a candle,
and I'm staring into the flickering flame of a candle, and it's bad because I'm left alone in my thoughts.
It's not ideal. It's a scary place.
I'll tell you what, don't go up in here. Stay away.
No, the head of a football player, head shape of a football player.
He said, Cam Scatteroo. All right. The more I ruminate, the more I think you and I have been on record talking about the secondary and the safeties being somewhat of a question mark because we have KJ Bolden. After that, we don't know exactly what we have. And that's a true statement. I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody. We just don't know yet. We've also talked how Ellis Robinson might be the guy that comes up and gets some snaps on a lot of different positions in the secondary because of those question marks, especially at corner. But Daniel, I started thinking about our returning cornerbacks, and I started thinking about the last time Georgia has had a secondary with cornerbacks returning with this many snap counts and this already level of skill getting developed further. We've talked long and hard about the inside linebacking core, and it is the best position in the SEC is our inside linebackers. There is not a position group better in the SEC than that group.
No, not close.
I want to
Josh
ask,
Pate has him ranked 11th, by the way.
Josh Pate has
and
said,
inside linebackers. He's got him ranked 11th.
Kirby can't develop them.
No,
if I look across
tough.
the NFL, not a lot of Georgia linebackers playing on
That's
Sundays.
true. That's accurate.
The cornerback position is the subject of my question. And my question to you is this. Are we sleeping on the cornerbacks this year actually being elite in all of college football? And it's not just it's lockdown corners. Are we in a better position this year on this cornerback team, this group, than we've been at Georgia in the last 7 years, Daniel?
I think you could easily make that case. Like, it doesn't have the right now. Let me say, it doesn't have the star, the star factor, the wow factor. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't. You don't have a first round lock.
Look at Daniel Harris. You look at
in that corner
Everett,
room.
You look at Ellis Robinson. Ellis Robinson might be, but and so
I mean, maybe down the road, but Ellis Robinson certainly is not, threatening the first round right now.
Right.
And I think Dalen Everett is insanely underrated. I think he could play his way into the first round here in his senior year.
There we go. See,
but you don't have that guy coming in that's carrying the weight from a superstar perspective. And I also think, if I'm being totally honest, that as much as we talk about the insecurity at safety and what do we have opposite KJ Bolden, that is a big question mark. We've gone into great detail. Even the star position with Jonell, what do we have there? Is Jonell going to take that next step this year? All of that. I think what the safety position has, because of the transfers that have been brought in, because of the work that's been done in the offseason in terms of roster management, I think what the safety position has is a fair amount of depth, right? So when you look at safeties, there are several guys like Kyron Jones who can play those, guys like Chris Cole who can play that star position.
I know he said Chris Cole. He wasn't mistaken. He knows Chris Cole's a linebacker. We understand he can
play the star position. Guys like Ja'Cory Thomas, guys like the transfers, obviously Maddox and Branch coming in. So I think the safety position's got a good amount of depth. I think the cornerback position, from being a full-blown strength of the defense, is the lack of depth. There are really, I like all three of the guys at corner. I like them all. I really like Dalen Everett. He really took his lumps 2 years ago when he got onto the field, and he has done nothing but grow and get better and become an all SEC type corner. I love the way that Daniel Harris stepped in for an absolutely hapless corner that he replaced mid-season last year.
Move on.
And I obviously love Ellis Robinson and the potential that he brings to this team. The issue that I have is that it? There could be some guys that stepped up. There's obviously names, but really, when you look at corner, those are your three guys. And so that makes me a little bit nervous, Clint. But in terms of, if you could guarantee me health throughout the season to just go back to our last question for a moment. If you could guarantee me health at that position throughout the season for all three of those guys, I would tell you this might be Georgia's best year at corner in the last 5 years.
I mean, DeAndre Baker, it was the last time that we had star cachet like that at corner, right?
Yeah.
Campbell,
Former 3-star, by the way.
Yes,
Can't develop.
Campbell as well. We've had depth. We've had a lot of guys back in that rotation, but I think these three, if these are the three we're dealing with, and we don't know any other names all year long, I'm feeling so good about our back end of our defense, keeping guys contained. These are guys that not only have cover skills, but have speed to go with it as well, that can keep up with burners, that can tackle well. We saw leading up at the end of the season. And again, I am full bore into Harris as a legit quality starter in the SEC. Not a liability anymore. I saw him come up and run support a number of times. I saw him on the island a number of times. Kirby trusted him to be on the island. They tried to pick on him. Texas did, and didn't have great success. Got a couple of completions, but not gobs of yards. I feel very secure in this secondary. Safety has depth. We're going to see a lot of rotation over there. 3 names at corner I'm feeling very good about, and we might have just absolute island guys over there, which I'm thrilled for. And I really couldn't believe, as I ruminated on it more, as I sat on it more, as I thought last year more, and what we've had before, man, we're in good hands, y'all. Like, sincerely, we're in very good hands. And that gives me a lot of confidence replacing edge guys. Because last year, I think early on, especially first half of the season, we relied on edge guys to put pressure, to take pressure off the back end, particularly one cornerback in position. This year, I think the edge can get home because quarterbacks are going to have small windows to throw into in that secondary, which allows the progression of younger
Let's help
guys.
each other out, guys. Let's ham and egg this thing. Let's just get this thing together.
Let's just look. It's kind of let's ping pong back and forth. You do, I do, you do, I do, guys.
It's like recording an everyday podcast about a football team that's in the off season. Sometimes you just got to cobble something together.
Sometimes you bang out just burners every single time. And that's what we're doing.
As an expert.
Yes, absolutely. He is Daniel. I'm Clint. We're here all off season long into the summertime, into fall.
Hit us up
camp.
With your questions.
Let us know, y'all.
We're ready.
We want to talk to you. Don't ask us.
We'll dive in.
Some of our escapades as we travel. That is off limits. Okay.
I've blocked it out of my mind.
Except for the Chili's. We will talk about that ad nauseum all day long. He is Daniel. I am Clint. This is Locked On Bulldogs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every single day. See you guys next time.
See ya.